However, the night wasn't all bad. Monte Ball ended up tying Travis Prentice's record for most NCAA touchdowns. You've got a bye week this week, and you've had a huge running game on Sunday. What are you guys looking to do against the Lions?
Hopefully stay balanced.
There were some awkward plays that led to the injuries. Matthews came out with a hamstring injury, Balaga a hip injury, and Jordy Nelson an ankle injury. Aaron Rodgers went on to say that ankle injury of Jordy's was probably his fault. However, Mike McCarthy went on to say that that's just Aaron being Aaron. Anthony had the opportunity to get his first NHL start in his hometown, a unique experience that he won't soon forget.
Obviously, it was my first year getting called up, and the first game was in Detroit, but I had the opportunity to play in New York, where I live 15 minutes from the rink.
Most of the time, a young team means an inexperienced team. But when you have 4 freshmen starting on the CMH girls volleyball team last season, it means they're ready to bump, set, and spike with the best of them. And they're proving it. Most programs this young would say they're in a rebuilding year, but that's not the case with these Crusaders. Although the sport has been around for many years, field hockey is still growing in popularity in Wisconsin. The Arrowhead girls field hockey team has been in existence since 1984, and they're looking to be a dominant force again this year. Tonight it's a Classic 8 matchup between the Kettle Moraine Lasers and the Catholic Memorial Crusaders. Kettle Moraine is looking to knock out a win against Memorial in order to stay in good playoff position, and Memorial is looking to continue their win streak against KM. It's time for the WIAA Division III Football State Championship, where Wisconsin Lutheran is taking on Rice Lake. Wisco comes into the championship game undefeated with a 13-0 record, while 10-3 Rice Lake has a strong running game, which they hope to use for the win. It was a chilly morning at Camp Randall, just 16 degrees, which led to a few turnovers throughout, but the first points of the championship game would belong to Rice Lake as they settled for 3 with a 29-yard field goal from Luke Fleming. It would take Wisco just 6 plays to march into the end zone as Austin DeNoyer steals 6 from the 2 for the Vikings. In the second, the Warriors would answer with a TD of their own after a forced fumble, when Eric Hovde finds Noah Pierce wide open. The first half would round out with Wisco gaining momentum. Logan McShane sends one to Jacob Fry, and he's off to the races, taking the pigskin for 48 yards. 5 plays later, McShane finds Anthony Carver, and he stomps into the end zone, sending Wisco into the locker room 20-10 over Rice Lake. Wisco would keep their momentum rolling in the second half, scoring back-to-back TDs with the help of Quinton Reed on the blocked punt and Bryce Roberts with the recovery. The second TD comes with a handoff to DeNoyer, who's barely touched in his 13-yard score. That's 27 unanswered points with a 2-point conversion to Carver. Vikings lead 34-10 at the end of the third. But the Warriors continued to fight. It's Hovde with the quarterback keep, and he's in for 6, but that will be it for the Warriors. Wisco's leading rusher Terrence Ward would seal the deal as the D3 2014 champions with his second TD, a 2-yard jaunt.
We had a rough one last year, and I know all the seniors this year, didn't want to repeat that, and we knew what it felt like. And it's great to end my football career on a good note. It's awesome.
Our defense was solid today, and it was a good win.
To win 14 games is an incredible accomplishment. We had a couple of battles, and we had some adversity we had to go through, but in the end, these guys conquered every opponent that they faced, and I'm real proud of them. This is a great atmosphere, and I wish we could do it every year.
Treat others as you would like to be treated. A principle that is preached here at Waukesha South is in full effect as both the girls and boys basketball teams come together to help support the Shooting Stars basketball tournament. Darby Walters, a 2010 Waukesha South graduate, first organized the tournament 3 years ago, and since then has seen tremendous growth in not only support, but turnout for the event. Winter sports are at the top of everyone's mind with the Winter Olympics just around the corner. And like Ted Ligety, the McGuanago ski team is looking to make it to state and then to bring home the gold. Humble usually isn't a word associated with Pirates, but the Pewaukee boys soccer team is just that. Securing the Woodland Conference Championship with a win against Tosa West means that these Pirates are able to focus on what's still to come. It's early in the season, and already the Burlington Co-op gymnastics team is showing who's top dog. Winning their first 2 meets, these girls have the experience to take them all the way. Grafton Hockey had quite a rough year last year, but they're putting it behind them and charging forward. Coming off a winless season last year, they've already come out of their first game with an 11-1 victory. The Kettle Moraine Lutheran girls girls basketball team has battled it out all season for their chance to get to Green Bay and bring home the gold ball. The 26-1 Chargers face the Neelsville Warriors in the Division III WIAA Girls State Championship game. This was Kettle Moraine Lutheran's first appearance to the WIAA state tournament, but it was apparent that both teams were anxious. I'm here with Coach Young from the Catholic Memorial Crusaders. Coach, you're killing it out there today. What's your plan for the playoffs this season?
Well, it's all about just winning in advance.
Even though the Badgers couldn't put an end to the Buckeyes' undefeated winning streak, they are still guaranteed a spot in the Big Ten Championship. All-American, Mr. Basketball, 4-time state champion, and the list goes on. And while basketball can define Diamond Stone, there's more to him than just what we see on the court.
Off the court, he wants to have fun, joke around, and just be a kid.
He's humble. Like sometimes he like care about his friends. He's a really good friend.
It's all fun and games off the court, but on the court it's a whole different person. You know, I'm really serious. I really want to win.
That desire to win has pushed Stone to be as successful as he is, and through it all, he has relied on his family for support, who, despite the devastating loss of his grandmother, has become even closer.
When my grandma died, it's kind of we all kind of connected back together. My cousin Enrique, you know, she's really good herself. We go to my little cousin's games. You know, we're always around our family. Like, we're never too big-headed for our family. You know, we love our family, and I think that motivates me to just keep working.
Diamond clearly has natural talent, but he also works incredibly hard to keep his level of play at the highest it can be, something he prides himself in, regardless of the doubters.
He's just talented because he's tall. You know, it's so easy to him. You know, but it's really not, because you know you have to put in a lot of work, you know, because you know your teammates looking at you, and you're this guy who's known nationally, and they want to see how you work out. They want to see what you do when you're not in school, so you have to put in that much work.
He's constantly working, off season, in season, after practice, before practice, and you know, you get to McDonald's All-American level by constantly working and not settling.
As one of the top recruits in the country, Diamond has been the center of a lot of attention, and he credits his family with keeping him grounded.
I've been blessed to be in the position I am today. You know, my freshman year, I had the spotlight. I was the #1 player in the country. It was kind of overwhelming as a freshman. You know, I'm getting interviewed for the first time in my life as a freshman, and I wasn't used to all that attention. And I kind of talked to my dad and my parents. You know, they just told me, you know, it's going to get crazy. You know, I didn't believe it. You know, I'm just like blowing it off. Sophomore, junior, senior year, you know, it's crazy. People are tweeting me, you know, I hate you, it's all a bunch of stuff, you know. And then, you know, my dad says, you know, some people that love you, people that hate you. You know, the people that hate you, they're just jealous of you. And so, you know, I understand that, and I just move forward.
Diamond has yet to announce what his next step will be, but he certainly knows the value of what he'll be leaving behind. Marquette was scheduled to open their season Friday night against Ohio State aboard the USS Yorktown, but that game was never played thanks to condensation on the court. So the Golden Eagles tipped off the season this afternoon at the Bradley Center against Colgate in the opener of the Maui Classic. Turnovers were a big story. Jamil Wilson with the steal, Vanderblue finishes. Size was also a major factor. Senior Chris O'Toole with the slam. O'Toole scored 11. Wilson scored 15. The former Racine Horlick star slams it home. Devontae Gardner was also a factor off the bench with 14. Marquette wins 84-63. The Golden Eagles host Southeastern Louisiana Tuesday, then head to Hawaii for the rest of the Maui Classic on November 19th. The Packers return to work tomorrow after taking most of the past week off, and it appears Green Bay is prepared to go with tandem running at running back until Cedric Benson returns from injury. Alex Green and James Stark split duties against the Cardinals, and it proved to be an effective tandem. The two combined for 114 rushing yards, with Green adding 25 more on receptions. They settled into defined roles, which may not change anytime soon.
You know, it's kind of a feel thing on game day. You know, like I said, we have certain packages that each guy goes in for. You know, Alex was doing the no-huddle snaps, where James, when we huddled, he was the back, and then Alex would come in on third down. So, you know, I think it's good to give those guys a role, let them focus in on that, you know, in particular. And then if one guy does get hot, then maybe we just ride that guy a little bit more than the other. But to keep both backs in there and active in the game and fresh is big.
The Packers head to Detroit next Sunday, and today the Lions were run over by Minnesota's Adrian Peterson, who topped the 1,000-yard mark less than a year after major knee surgery. 61 yards on the carry, 171 for the day for Peterson. The Vikings win 34-24. Minnesota is now 6-4. Detroit is 4-5. The 1972 Dolphins can once again relax. There will not be an unbeaten team this season. Today in New Orleans, Atlanta's Tony Gonzalez became the first tight end in NFL history to catch 100 touchdown passes. Gonzalez scored twice, but so did Saints tight end Jimmy Graham, and New Orleans wins 31-27, handing the Falcons their first loss of the season. And this afternoon at the Cell, the home opener for defending MISL champion Milwaukee Wave against Missouri. With just 6 seconds left in the first half, Pablo scored for a 7-4 Milwaukee lead. But the Comets forced overtime. Kobe Andrews with the game winner. Missouri beats Milwaukee 13-11. These are your evening sports. I'm April Boblin.